you knew where you wanted to be. There was point A to point B, and it was just a way to get there. But there's so many people that listen to this show that are in a similar situation to where you were, perhaps. So maybe you could flesh that out a little bit and kind of the steps you took.
Yeah, and I've had people approach me and ask me this: "Oh, how do you get the job?" And I'm not really sure how to answer that in a concise way, because for me it was a bit of a journey. But if you set your mind to something, you've just got to work out the steps in between and keep going at it until you get there. So for me, obviously I had a bit of coaching over the phone as to the things that I needed to do. Like I said, I didn't know anyone, so I thought, what's going to get me closer? The Chartered Financial Analyst program was a big deal for me. It's not easy. I think the pass rate when I did it was somewhere between 35 and 40% for each of the 3 levels. So it's not something easy to get through, and it felt like a bit of a ticket. So as I was moving through different jobs at Colonial First State, trying to get closer to the analyst role, I also managed to catch a break with Bell Potter, who are a stockbroker. Had a job going for, I think it was for someone who was just collating research and sending out research. And I thought I would do, it doesn't sound like a great job, but I'd do that for free because I'm in there sitting next to the equity analysts. And they'd seen that I'd been studying or moving through that Chartered Financial Analyst program. Thankfully, or a bit lucky on my behalf, they had someone that worked there that had just failed level 1 and complained about how hard it was. So when I came in and said, yeah, I've done level 1, I'm looking forward to level 2, they thought, this guy's got something. He obviously knows something about financial statements, quantitative methods, portfolio management, economics, at least a little bit, given his degree, and he's moving through this program. So they ended up offering me an assistant quantitative analyst role, and that had analyst in the title. And I thought, how good's this? I'm halfway there. I just need to change the other word. So people ask me sometimes, why did you get into quant? For me, to be brutally honest, it was a stepping stone towards what I wanted to do, and it was a really good experience. I mean, so at Bell Potter, one of the key, or a couple of key elements in the role, one was working for my boss, the head of quant, so helping him with quantitative stock market research that would then be issued to clients, building databases and data sets that would be sent through to clients in terms of earnings and valuation data that clients would pick up on a feed every morning. And then I also had a bit of a quality control role. So when analysts published their notes in the morning, the night previous, I'd go through their financial models and I'd make sure that the profit and loss statement matched the balance sheet, matched the cash flow, or at least they'd reconcile, and there was some level of logic to the forecasts. So that was really helpful in terms of getting some hands-on experience there, and then also understanding the differences in terms of how you'd model companies across different industries. And I think Bell Potter was a little bit of a segue into how I ended up moving to my next firm, which was called Ausbil Dexia at the time, and they had a junior quantitative analyst role going. And my boss at Bell Potter knew my boss or future boss at Ausbil, so put in a good word. They obviously, for whatever reason, they saw something in me, and they brought me on board. And there were some similarities and differences in the role at Ausbil. I looked after proprietary ranking models for the company and was supportive of the broader analyst team. So I really enjoyed reporting season every year because I'd managed to automate a few things and build a bit of time into my daily schedule. And analysts had no time whatsoever. So I'm talking about the large cap, mid cap pool of analysts, and then there was also a small cap team at Ausbil. They had no time in August. So when they're running around like headless chooks saying, I've got to get to this meeting, and this meeting, I'd stand there and go, I'll take that one for you. So I got the chance to go meet companies and come back with feedback and, this is what I think, what do you think? So that was extremely exciting. And then at some point, management came to me and said, look, we think you probably want to be an analyst. And I hadn't really made it that clear to them at the time because I was trying to do a good job in my current role. But I wasn't going to turn that down. And they said, large cap or small cap? And I thought that one's a no-brainer. There's so much more opportunities in the small mid-cap space. And QVG, where I am now, we're small mid-cap specialists, and I think we've proven that there's alpha to be captured in that space. So that was really the genesis of it, and then I'm also quite fortunate in. I mean, I explained how I ended up at Ausbil. It was because there was an opportunity there, not necessarily by design, but luck would have it, the two guys that ran the small cap strategy at Ausbil were not only were they good blokes, but they were incredibly good investors. So that Ausbil microcap fund that eventually I became a part of over the 7 years that the team was there did 28% per annum.
Yeah, wow.
So I effectively did my apprenticeship under some of the best guys in the market. And I like to think that I was a sponge along the way as well, in that I had all these economics I had all this education from my degree at university and from this chartered financial analyst designation, but it was all theory. And to sit next to practitioners day in, day out, and really roll your sleeves up, get on the tools, was just absolutely invaluable. So my philosophy has effectively been adopted to a large extent from those early days in the Ausbil microcap team.